How's it going, guys? It's Marcus. Today I'm going to be talking about two of my favorite characters in My Hero Academia, Shoto Todoroki and... young Dabi, and why I think they're going to have a fight later in the series and how I think the fight will go. So this video is like half theory, half specific fight explanation. By the way, this video will contain information that has only been revealed in the manga of My Hero, so if you're an anime-only watcher and you're very anal about spoilers, then proceed with caution. So Shoto Todoroki is the son of the current #1 pro hero Endeavor and has two quirks, well technically one quirk with two halves. He can release large quantities of ice from the right side of his body at a super fast rate to freeze his opponents in place, and expel flames from the left side of his body to burn his target or targets. The drawback of his quirk is he needs to maintain his own body temperature. For example, if he uses his right side too much, he'll start to get frostbite, but at the same time he can counter these effects by using his left side. And since he hasn't used his left side too much yet, it's unknown what sort of drawback of using the left side too much gives. But I'm assuming he gets just burns or something on his left side of his body. Until recently, Shoto would only use his right side in combat due to the fact that he hated Endeavor for abusing his mother and the rest of his family members. Endeavor seemed to show very little love for his family since he only married Shoto's mother in order for them to have a child that would have the chance to surpass All Might. Endeavor was displeased with all of his children until Shoto was born. He thought Shoto had the ability to surpass All Might with the use of both of his sides. Eventually, the relationship between Endeavor and Shoto starts to slowly improve after Shoto went to visit his mother in the hospital, and he's been trying to get better control over his left side. He's pretty much mastered his right side at this point, but since he hasn't used his left side almost his whole life, he still needs work with it. Dabi is a villain who is arguably the biggest follower of Hero Killer Stain's ideology, and I think he has the power to carry on Stain's will a bit longer. Not a whole lot else is known about him. His real name isn't even Dabi, but that's what he calls himself, and his quirk is a quirk that allows him to produce black-colored flames to burn his enemies into ashes. The official name for his quirk is cremation. If you've been following My Hero for a while, you've probably heard the theory about Shoto and Dabi possibly being related, and there's actually a solid amount of evidence to back this theory up. It's known in the world of My Hero that children inherit quirks from their parents, so since Dabi has a flame-related quirk, myself and many others believe that he is the son of Endeavor. The reason he goes by Dabi and not his real name is because he doesn't want the public to know his real last name is Todoroki, because then he'd be associated with Endeavor. But I don't think Dabi and Shoto share the same mother. The reason I think that's because Dabi's hair is black and Shoto and his siblings seem to have either completely white hair, completely red hair, or a little bit of both. But because when Dabi grabbed the compressed form of Bakugo when Bakugo got kidnapped by the League of Villains, he looked at Shoto and said, "How sad, Todoroki Shoto." If Dabi was his older brother from the same mother, then Shoto would have recognized him, but there was no foreshadowing of Shoto saying Dabi looked familiar to him, or Shoto flat out saying Dabi was his brother, so. And lastly, Dabi and Endeavor have the same eye color, so that's pretty cute, pretty blue. So I think a fight between these two would probably conclude this theory that many people have been talking about. Like, if they're mid-battle or right before the fight starts, I can see Dabi telling him he's also Endeavor's son, but Endeavor abandoned him because of how obsessed Endeavor became with surpassing All Might, and he thought Dabi wasn't good enough to do it. If these two fight, Shoto will most likely win because, you know, he's a good guy and Dabi isn't. However, I don't think he's currently strong enough to take on Dabi. He's going to need more training, and when the two fight, he'll probably need to unlock some plot armor power-up to be able to win, but I'll get to that in a sec. If you're a Pokemon player, you should know that fire is super effective against ice. Since Dabi's soul quirk is based around his black flames, he's been able to train the power of this quirk throughout his 20-ish years of life. Because of that, I don't think Shoto's right side alone will be all that effective against Dabi. I'm thinking this fight will either be the fight where Shoto has to take his left side to the next level of power in order to defeat Dabi to see who has the stronger flames, or Shoto will have to combine both of his sides to overpower Dabi. Because since Shoto has both fire and ice, if he's quick enough, he can put a bunch of ice on the battlefield and then use his left side to melt the ice to turn it into water so he can use the water to extinguish Dabi's flame. But both these guys have really good stats in the official character book, with Shoto having 21 out of 25 and Dabi having 18 out of 25. This will be a very destructive fight as well if it happens. Neither of these characters are pushovers by any means, and both of them are very reliant on their quirks when fighting, so. Shoto's one of the strongest students in Class 1A, and he came in second place at the sports festival, and Dabi, whose clone held its own against Aiwaza, and was able to defeat a pro hero Snatch with fairly minimal effort. If this fight does end up happening, I hope it's much later down the road, though. I love Dabi's character so much so far, and I don't want him to end up like some of the other villains where we barely find out about who he was, and he'll just get captured so easily and just won't have a lot of on-screen time. That would really upset me. And, you know, now that Kurogiri is captured, I kind of see Dabi as the replacement to being Shigaraki's right-hand man, but I guess we'll see what happens. But that is going to be it for this video, though. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please be sure to leave a like down below if you enjoyed, and if you're new to the channel, subscribe. And I will see you guys next time. Peace out, take care, bye-bye.